Okay, so you're getting ready for the smart home engineer interview, and I bet you want to totally blow them away.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why we are doing this deep dive. We've got all these RoleCatcher resources that can help you do just that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got career guides, sample interview questions, and even insights into how AI is changing hiring these days.
It is such a fascinating field, and if you prepare well, you can really stand out.
Exactly, and time is valuable, so we're going to get right to the point and pull out all the best tips and tricks from RoleCatcher.
Okay, sounds good.
So first, let's set the scene. What exactly does a smart home engineer do?
Well, think about it. High demand, constantly evolving technology, and you actually get to shape how people live and interact with their homes. You're not just like putting in gadgets, you're designing these whole integrated systems.
Right, making life easier and safer.
More efficient, all that good stuff.
Okay, that sounds pretty amazing.
It is.
But, technology changes so quickly. How does a smart home engineer keep up with all of that?
Well, that's where continuous learning is so important. And RoleCatcher's career guides really emphasize this. You've got to be updated on industry trends, explore certifications, even dive into specialties like security or energy management.
Okay, so it's more than just knowing the tech stuff.
Yeah.
You have to be looking ahead, too.
Definitely. And that's something you should highlight in your interview. Show them you're not just skilled, but you're adaptable and eager to learn new things.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about AI and hiring. This is a big one. RoleCatcher actually has AI that can help you understand how these automated recruiters work.
It's true. Imagine if you knew exactly what skills the AI was looking for.
Yeah.
You could tailor your resume and even your interview answers to hit those key points.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's like a secret weapon for your job search.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of interview answers, let's look at some common questions that you might get asked. RoleCatcher has a whole bunch of these, and we're going to break down the best way to approach them. So first up, a classic. What inspired you to pursue a career in smart home engineering?
This is your chance to show them how passionate you are. Talk about what first got you interested, maybe a project you worked on or a specific technology that really fascinated you. Remember, they can tell if you're genuinely enthusiastic.
And what about follow-up questions? They'll probably want more details about why you're interested in this field.
Oh, for sure. They might ask about recent advancements that have caught your eye. This is where your research comes in handy.
Right, so you have to stay up to date.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got passion and knowledge. Now let's get a little more practical. How would you answer this one? Can you explain how you would design a smart home system for a client?
Okay, well, with this question, you really want to show them your process and how you put the client first. Emphasize how important it is to understand their needs and their lifestyle. You could even walk them through a hypothetical scenario, focusing on how user-friendly the system would be and how seamlessly all the devices would work together.
So basically, you're showing them that you can take your technical expertise and turn it into a solution that actually works for the client.
Exactly. And be ready for follow-up questions about balancing functionality with aesthetics, because a smart home should be smart and it should look good too.
Of course, nobody wants a bunch of ugly gadgets cluttering up their house.
Right.
Now, troubleshooting. It's going to happen at some point. So how would you approach this question? How would you troubleshoot a malfunctioning smart home system?
This is where you get to show off your problem-solving skills. You want to explain your step-by-step approach, really emphasizing how you think logically and use your diagnostic skills. It might even be good to mention some common issues you've run into before and how you fix them.
And extra points if you can mention specific diagnostic tools or software.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It shows them that you're not all talking.
Right? You've actually done this stuff.
Exactly. And they might even hit you with a scenario-based follow-up question like, have you ever had a really tricky troubleshooting situation and how did you handle it?
Oh, that's a good one. That shows how you think on your feet.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about voice control. It's basically a must-have in smart homes these days. So how would you answer? Can you explain how you would integrate voice control into a smart home system?
Okay, this is where you really dive into your technical knowledge. Talk about the different voice control systems out there, their pros and cons, any compatibility issues you might face.
Right.
It's also a chance to show them that you understand security concerns and how to address those. Because, nobody wants their smart home to be vulnerable to hackers.
Exactly. What about follow-up questions for this one?
They might ask about new voice control technologies or how you would integrate voice commands with other smart home features. The key is to show them that you're not just knowledgeable about what's out there now, but you're also thinking about the future.
I like that. Okay, let's move on to another question that's becoming more and more important. Can you explain how you would ensure the security of a smart home system?
Okay, well, this one is all about showing them that you understand cybersecurity best practices. Talk about encryption firewalls, secure authentication methods, and how important regular software updates are. You want to make sure they know that you prioritize security.
Yeah, it's not just about convenience. It's about protecting people's data and privacy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we know that smart homes can be energy hogs if they're not designed,
Yeah.
right? So how would you answer this question? Can you explain how you would optimize a smart home system for energy efficiency?
This is a great opportunity to show them that you know about energy-saving devices and strategies.
Hmm.
Talk about things like smart thermostats, smart lighting systems, and how you would use those to minimize energy consumption. You could even mention integrating renewable energy sources like solar panels.
Oh, yeah, so you're not just tech savvy. You're
Yeah.
also environmentally conscious.
Exactly. And they might ask you follow-up questions about specific energy management techniques like load shifting or demand response. These are a little more advanced, but it shows that you're thinking ahead and looking at the bigger picture.
That's impressive. Okay, let's get a little more specific. How about this one? Can you explain how you would integrate a smart home system with a solar panel system?
This question is really testing your knowledge of renewable energy integration. You want to talk about how you would figure out the energy needs, size the solar panel system correctly, and then integrate it with the smart home using a smart inverter. You can also mention different types of solar panels and how efficient they are.
So you're basically showing them that you can connect the dots between smart home technology and sustainable energy.
Exactly. And they might ask you about the benefits of integrating solar with a smart home, like lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint.
Okay, last one. Can you explain how you would design a scalable smart home system for a large commercial building?
This one's all about thinking big. You need to show them that you can design a system that can grow with the client's needs. Talk about using a modular design approach that's easy to expand. Mention things like load balancers, redundant servers, and communication protocols like Zigbee and Z-Wave. These are technical terms, but they show that you understand how to build a complex, large-scale system.
So it's like you're moving up to the big leagues.
Exactly. And they might ask you how your design would ensure reliability and how it would handle a huge number of devices and users.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground with these interview questions.
We have.
But let's not forget about RoleCatcher's AI. It can actually help you fine-tune your answers for specific job roles.
It's true. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your responses, suggest improvements, and even help you practice through video simulations.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like having a personal interview coach.
It can give you that extra edge, especially when it comes to tailoring your answers to the specific company and role that you're applying for. Okay, but before we jump into even more career insights, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more tips and strategies to help you nail that smart home engineer interview.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back and ready to really dig into this smart home engineer world.
Yeah.
We've talked about some common interview questions, but let's zoom out for a minute. What are some of the big trends that are shaping this field?
Well, one trend that you absolutely can't ignore is artificial intelligence.
AI.
AI, yep. It's popping up everywhere in smart homes. You've got voice assistants that learn your preferences, security cameras that can recognize faces, the whole 9 yards.
So it's not just about connecting devices anymore. It's about
Yeah.
making them think.
Exactly. And that has a huge impact on smart home engineers. They need to know how to incorporate AI into their designs, make sure these systems aren't just smart, but actually intelligent.
Right.
And that's a skill that's in super high demand these days. It's definitely something you should mention in your interview.
Yeah, it shows that you're thinking ahead and you're ready for the future. What other trends should people be paying attention to?
Sustainability is a massive one. Climate change is becoming a bigger and bigger concern, so people want to make their homes more eco-friendly. And that's where smart home engineers come in.
Okay, so we're talking about optimizing energy consumption, reducing waste, things like that.
Exactly. And even integrating renewable energy sources like solar panels. Smart home engineers need to know about all of these sustainable technologies and design practices.
So they're not just creating comfortable homes.
Right.
They're creating responsible homes.
Exactly.
Okay, now what about the Internet of Things?
IoT.
Yeah, IoT. It's like the backbone of the whole smart home concept.
Absolutely. The IoT connects everyday objects to the internet, creating this network of devices that can all talk to each other.
Right.
So for smart home engineers, it's all about knowing how to integrate all these different devices into one seamless system.
It sounds pretty complicated.
Yeah.
I bet security is a big concern with all these devices talking to each other.
It's a huge concern. Smart home engineers need to really understand cybersecurity best practices, Protecting client data and privacy is so important. It's something you should definitely emphasize in your interview. Show them that you take security seriously.
Now, RoleCatcher's career guides mention something called connected home as a platform. What exactly does that mean?
It's a really interesting idea. It's still kind of in its early stages, but it has a lot of potential. Basically, imagine a smart home system that's not just about controlling devices.
Yeah.
It's like a central hub for all kinds of services. Things like healthcare providers, grocery delivery, entertainment options, you name it. And you can access it all through your smart home.
Wow, that sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
I know, right? But it's closer than you think.
Yeah.
And for smart home engineers, this means designing systems that are really open and flexible. They need to be able to integrate with all sorts of third-party services. It adds a whole new layer of complexity and opportunity to the field.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the trends that are shaping the field. But what about the specific company you're interviewing with? How important is it to research them beforehand?
It's super important. You really want to understand their company culture, their values, the kinds of projects they work on.
Okay.
It helps you tailor your answers to what they're looking for, and it shows the interviewer that you've done your homework.
So where should you even start?
Well, their website is a great place to begin. Look for information about their mission, their values, and the types of smart home systems they specialize in. Social media can give you a glimpse into their company culture and how they interact with customers.
And LinkedIn is good for getting insights into the people you might be working with.
Oh, for sure. You can see the backgrounds and experience of people in similar roles, which can give you a better idea of what they're looking for in a candidate.
And here's a little tip from me. Use your research to come up with some good questions to ask the interviewer.
Oh, that's a good one.
It shows that you're really interested and engaged.
Definitely. Asking thoughtful questions can really make a good impression, and it shows your curiosity and initiative.
So let's go back to RoleCatcher for a second. It's not just about career guides and sample questions. They've also got a huge database of employers, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a goldmine of information. You can research potential employers, see what their hiring trends are like, and even check if you have any connections who work at those companies.
Oh, that's really helpful.
It's like a secret weapon for networking and finding the perfect fit.
Okay, so we've researched the company, we understand the trends, and we've got a handle on those tough interview questions. But how do we actually make sure our answers sound good? Clear and confident.
Practice, practice, practice. The more you rehearse your answers, the more comfortable and natural you'll feel during the actual interview. You can practice in front of a mirror with a friend or even record yourself to see how you come across.
Oh, and don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI-powered video practice feature.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's like having a personal coach analyzing your performance. They'll give you feedback on your body language, your tone of voice, even the content of your answers.
It's an awesome tool for perfecting your delivery and boosting your confidence.
Okay, now let's talk about something that people don't always think about, but it can make a big difference. How should you dress for a smart home engineer interview?
Well, the dress code can vary depending on the company, but it's always a good idea to err on the side of professionalism, at least business casual. Nice pair of pants or a skirt, a button-down shirt or blouse, maybe a blazer.
So leave the jeans and t-shirts at home.
Yeah, even if the company seems casual, you want to make a good first impression and show them that you take this opportunity seriously.
And pay attention to the little things, too.
Yeah.
Make sure your shoes are clean.
Yeah.
Your hair is neat. If you have facial hair, make sure it's trimmed.
All the details matter.
Okay, so in this part, we've explored some of the big industry trends. We've talked about researching companies, and we've even touched on practicing your answers and dressing professionally. But before we wrap up with part 3, where we'll dive into that sometimes awkward topic of salary expectations, let's just take a moment to reflect.
Okay.
It's clear that the smart home engineer world is really dynamic and exciting. It takes more than just technical expertise.
Yeah.
You need that passion for innovation, you have to be committed to sustainability, and you really need to understand how technology can make people's lives better.
It's a fascinating field, for sure.
So if you're feeling inspired and ready to jump into this career path, stay tuned for part 3. We'll give you the final pieces of the puzzle to help you confidently navigate that smart home engineer interview and land your dream job. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our smart home engineer deep dive. And let's be real, there's one topic that can make anyone a little nervous, talking about salary.
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation that you want to be prepared for. But if you approach it the right way, it doesn't have to be so scary.
So how do you even know what to ask for? It's not like salaries are just posted out in the open.
That's where research comes in. And RoleCatcher is an amazing tool for this. They have salary data for all kinds of roles, including smart home engineer positions, broken down by location and experience level.
Oh, that's really helpful. It takes out some of the guesswork.
Yeah,
Knowing the average salary range for your area and your experience gives you a good place to start.
exactly. And remember, you're worth a lot. Don't forget to factor in your unique skills and what you bring to the table.
Because things like certifications, specialized knowledge, even personal projects, all of that adds value.
Absolutely. Those are assets that can justify a higher salary.
Okay, so let's say the interviewer asks you straight up, what are your salary expectations? How do you answer that smoothly?
You want to be honest and transparent, but also strategic. You could say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm looking for a salary in the range of X to Y.
Okay, that sounds confident and prepared. You're not being demanding, but you're also not selling yourself short.
Exactly. And if the interviewer comes back with a number that's lower than what you're hoping for, don't be afraid to negotiate.
Oh man, negotiation. I'm not great at that. Any tips?
Yeah, just focus on the value that you bring. Highlight your skills, your accomplishments, and how you can help the company succeed. Explain why the salary you want is fair based on what you can offer.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if they just won't budge?
Well, you have to be prepared to walk away if the offer doesn't meet your needs. Knowing your worth and being willing to stand your ground is so important in any negotiation.
So it's not just about getting any job.
Right.
It's about getting the right job.
Exactly. One that values your skills and your experience.
Okay, wow, we've covered so much in this deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We've explored what it means to be a smart home engineer.
Yeah.
Tackled tough interview questions, talked about trends, research, even salary negotiation.
It's been a great journey.
Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are getting ready for their smart home engineer interviews?
You've got this. Remember, confidence is key. Believe in yourself. Show them your passion and let your knowledge shine through.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is here to help you every step of the way. They've got all the resources and insights you need to succeed.
And here's a final thought for you. As smart home technology keeps evolving at this incredible pace, what role do you see yourself playing in shaping the future of connected living? It's a field full of possibilities, and you have the potential to make a real impact.
That's a great question to think about. Good luck and go ace those interviews.